Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. Hope everyone's doing well and had a great Christmas. So we're starting off the new year with some Konflikt 47 content, and today we're going to be unboxing the introductory set for Konflikt 47. Now, if you've not heard of this game, it's a game by Warlord Games, and think what would happen if World War II went in a very different direction. I've recently unboxed the starter set on my channel. I'll leave a link on the screen now and in the description below, so if you want to go and take a look at that video, that shows everything that's in the box and talks a little bit about the lore of Konflikt 47. And I've also done some faction focused videos as well. You can also find links for those in the description. But today we're talking about the introductory set. Now, this box is aimed at getting people into the game, and it's an absolutely brilliant box. If you were thinking about getting into Konflikt 47 but you were still undecided and you didn't want to buy the starter set just yet, or one of the starter armies, then this box is going to be for you. So what we'll do in this video is we'll take a look at everything in the box, look at some of the assembled miniatures, and then we'll talk about where you could go from here if you did want to get into the game. As you can see, it's a fairly decent sized box. It barely fits on my desk. In terms of footprint, it's probably the same as the starter set, but just not quite as deep. And we've got that brilliant artwork on the front there by Stefan Kapinski. And if we turn it over, we'll be able to look at everything that's in the box. So, as you can see from the blurb, Konflikt 47 is a tabletop war game of heroes, horrors, monsters and mechs, set in an alternate universe in which World War II never ended, and terrifying new weapons of war are unleashed on the battlefield. Within this box you'll find 12 jump pack equipped United States Fireflies squaring off against 6 imposing Axis Stahltruppen. So in the box we're going to get a Konflikt 47 field manual, so this is going to be like a little booklet that talks you through assembling and painting your miniatures if you're new to that and getting them on the tabletop. We get 12 Firefly airborne infantry, we get 6 Stahltruppen heavy infantry. So in terms of actual plastic miniatures infantry wise, that is the same as what you get in the starter set. We get 1 plastic Konflikt 47 ruin building, so that's that one there, if you can just see. That's what you get in the starter set as well, but you get a couple more of those. Full colour double-sided gaming mat, which is made of like thick paper. We get a dice bag, we get 8 order dice, we get 6 rift dice. So the rift dice are what powers the abilities for some of the special units in Konflikt 47. We get 10 6-sided dice, full colour punch board, which has some cardboard cutouts which we'll look at, and some plastic bases as well. So that is everything that you get in the box. And in terms of what you get and the value, this box retails for £42.50 in the UK. Now, when you think about that price and everything that you get in the box, especially if you're shopping from a third-party retailer where you'll get your discount, that is incredible value if you wanted to try out this game. There are other companies out there that charge more than that just for a box of 10 miniatures, and you're getting way more than that in here, as well as all the extra content. So I think in terms of getting people into the game, it's a really great value set. But enough about that. Without further ado, let's crack it open and actually see what's inside. So I'll just get my knife and we'll cut open this cellophane and take a look at everything we get in the box. I should have probably taken the cellophane off before I made the video, but where's the fun in that? So let's just try and open it carefully without ripping the box. And it's packaged that way, so if you do get this box, be careful, because I nearly opened it and everything dropped out. So there we go, we'll put it this way around and just move that lid out of the way. So starting off, as you can see, we get our introductory dice set. So we get an order dice, we get 4 olive green order dice and 4 grey order dice. So there's for your US forces, there for your Stahltruppen, and then we get some rift dice in different colours for the Axis and for the US. And then we get 10 D6 dice as well. So as I said, I've done videos on how the game works and a little bit of talking about how the rift dice work. That's in the starter set unboxing. But basically, if I give you an example, the rift dice power the various abilities. So the US Fireflies can use their rift dice to jump into combat, make an attack and then jump out again. Or the Axis Stahltruppen, they can exhaust their rift dice, so use the power of that rift dice, and they'll ignore all the pin markers and then can march forward and stuff like that. It's called Vormarch. It's pretty cool. So we get a dice bag. It's just a basic dice bag that you get in the box, but it's cool that they've included it as well. You can get other ones as well. This is my bolt action dice bag with all my order dice in and various other bits and rift dice. I've got some Desert Rats D6, and they're my order dice for my Axis. And then of course we're greeted by our lovely plastic. So we've got some large bases here. These are for the Stahltruppen. and then we've got the smaller bases probably underneath for the fireflies. So let's start off by looking at the fireflies. So you get 2 sprues of these, identical sprues, but there's loads of options on the sprues. I'll just move the box out of the way so you can take a look. So on these sprues, you get 9 sets of legs for 6 troops. So we've got 3 sets of legs there, we've got another 3 sets of legs there, and then we've got a completed body there, and then some more options for kneeling. So although we only get 6 troops per sprue, you can actually vary the poses, and there's tons of different options as well. You actually get 19 heads across this set. So you've got helmeted options, you've got helmets with the respirators, you've got a couple of sort of flight helmets with respirators, and you've got bare heads as well. We've got our M1X Thompsons, which is like the special weapon that the fireflies use. We've got other options as well, so we've got a BAR there. We've got more Thompsons, we've got grenades, we've got bazookas, we've got pouches, shoulder pouches and stuff like that. And then there's the repulsor units that the fireflies use for jumping into combat. So as I say, we get 2 sprues of these, and you can have them on the ground or leaping off cover as well, so it looks like they're just landing from flight or just taking off. And tons of bits and accessories as well for which to customize them. So like I said, although the 2 identical sprues, with the legs, you know, with you having 9 sets of legs for only 6 troops, you can customize them and make sure that each trooper is going to look unique. So I think that's pretty cool. And again, that is the same as what you would get in the starter set as well. So that just shows the value of this box. We'll just move that out of the way, and then we can take a look at our Stahltruppen. So these are your Axis heavy infantry. And again, this is a sprue. There's 2 identical sprues. Each sprue makes 3 Stahltruppen, so you can see the back of the body there and the front of the body. You do get more legs though. So again, you get 5 sets of legs for 3 bodies, so you can make sure that there's different options there. We get machine guns, we get an anti-tank rifle, which is on the sprue as well, which is there. We get Panzerforce, we got 9 heads, I think, in total. Let's take a look at those. Yeah, so we've got 9 heads. We've got a couple of heads with like an aerial on it, a comms unit, so you can have denote your commander or your sergeant. There's a bareheaded option as well. We get knives, and there are other little bits of accessories as well, like ammunition magazines for the SDG 44s, which is the assault rifle that they carry. And as I said, again, just like the fireflies, with the various leg options, you can customize these so they don't all look identical. So 2 sprues of these, which makes you 6 Stahltruppen, which is great. And again, once you've built them, if you were considering adding to your forces, you're going to have some spare legs and bits left over again, which is really cool. Let's move those out of the way. And then these are our bases for our fireflies, so they're the smaller 25mm bases. Put those to one side. And then we get 2 sprues of the plastic buildings. Now, there aren't any instructions in the box on how to assemble these, but if you go to the Konflikt 47 website and go on there, as you scroll down, you'll see instructions for how to assemble these, and there's a couple of different ways you can do it. And they are really quite nice actually in terms of detail. You get like rusted drain pipes, lamps, and a bit of flooring and stuff like that. It's very simple to put together, and it just adds a bit of a theme to your battlefield as well. So again, it's cool that you get 2 of those sprues in the box. Let's get those to one side. Next up, we've got our double-sided game mat, so I'm going to try and fold this out as much as I can. You do get one of these in the starter set as well. So on one side, we've got like a muddy wasteland style battlefield, and on the other side, as you can see, it's like ruined urban battlefield with loads of destroyed buildings and stuff like that. So this could be used to maybe represent Dresden, which in the lore, once you start reading into it and stuff like that, is a very, very interesting place in terms of Konflikt 47. So double-sided game mat, so if you're just getting into the game and you want to try it out, this is pretty cool. You can put it on your kitchen table. You can have one game on this muddy battlefield, and you can flip it over, put the ruined side on it, and then use those buildings that you get in the box to create sort of a themed battlefield. And also, if you're an existing gamer and you've already got your own terrain, then this is a nice little thing to put down on the table, and you can put your terrain on as well as the stuff that you get in this box. Also, as well as the terrain and the plastic sprues and what have you, we also get our usual Warlord Games little notes to use packaged it, which is always cool. We do get this. We get a card sheet with some punch out cards. So on here we've got some tokens that can represent your pin markers and things like that. And then we've got an immobilized token, so if the vehicle gets hit. And speaking of vehicles, we've got a cardboard cutout linebacker, and we've got a Vogel Spinner Walker as well. So although you don't get these in the box like you do with the starter set, it's pretty cool that they give you the cardboard cutouts so you can actually play the game and see what it would be like to go up against a Vogel Spinner if you're playing as the US, or as the linebacker Walker if you're playing as the Axis. So I think that's awesome that they've included this in the box. They didn't have to do that, but it does give you that little bit of variety. When you've played your first couple of introductory games, you're going to be going up against these, and then if you end up enjoying it, you might end up owning the real thing. So again, another little thing that's in the box that adds to the value of this. And then finally, we've got our field manual. So let's move the box out of the way so we can take a look at this. So this is a nice booklet that you get in the box. So obviously, as you've probably noticed that as we've dug into the box and seen all the stuff, you don't get a rule book in the box. This is just an introductory set. It's meant to introduce you to the game, and basic rules are in this on how to play it, but it also includes various other things like how to assemble your miniatures. As you can see, there's bits on the lore, the background of the 5 major factions, which are the Axis, the United States, the British Commonwealth, the Soviet bloc, and the Empire of Japan. So as we flick through this book, you can see it's full colour. We've got some examples of different miniatures there. Daughters of the Motherland for the Soviet bloc. They're pretty cool. We've got some US Paragon troops. So if you're not familiar with the lore, think like Captain America. British troops there. We've got Japanese battle frame infantry as well. We've got German commander there, Heinrich Gross. So as you're delving through this book, it's showing you what the hobby is, and if you're a hobbyist already, you'll know all this. But if you're new to wargaming and you picked up this box because it's a great way of getting into the game, this has got everything you need. It's telling you where to start, what to do, how to clip your miniatures off the sprue, how to paint them and stuff like that, how to set up the battlefield. As you can see there, there's a very cool looking battlefield with some extra units. And then we've got the world of Konflikt 47, so showing our US Fireflies. We've got some awesome artwork there of the Stahltruppen, Firefly infantry. We've got the British Commonwealth, so that's the automatons that the British sometimes employ in battle, which are awesome. They're fearless, so going up against them is always fun. The Soviet bloc, we've got the Moro's Ghoul there. In the Empire of Japan, we've got one of the Ghost Warriors. These can like phase in and out of walls and stuff like that. Very, very cool. And we've got images throughout the book as well of painted miniatures, giving you the idea and showing you the world. And then, as I said, so if you're just starting out, instructions on where to begin, what you're going to need, and how to put your miniatures together. And then we've also got some images of some basic troops as well that you can add into your games in Konflikt 47. So if you're familiar with or you've heard of bolt action, you can use bolt action units as well to supplement your forces in Konflikt 47, which is pretty cool. So as I said, there's quite a few pages in this book on how to set yourself up and how to get going, and then we've got some basic rules. So it tells you about the turn sequence, the orders phase, the turn end phase. These are your orders, so much in the same way as bolt action, because it's built on V3 of bolt action. You've got fire, advance, run, ambush, rally, or down. So it tells you what to do with the rift dice, how to use your order dice, how pin markers work. So everything's clearly explained, and it really is a great way of getting into the game. The sprues, everything is labelled and numbered as well, which is cool. So you've got nice full colour instructions and how to put them together. And then we've got missions and how to set up the missions. So mission 2, defensive positions. Mission 3, we're pinned down. Heroes and rift tech. So playing through these scenarios is going to introduce you on how to use the rift dice. So you can see there, rift dice can be surging, they can be active, which give you like passive abilities, or they can be exhausted. And depending on how you use these dice and when to use them is all part of the fun of Konflikt 47. For example, one unit, the Totem Corps from the Axis forces, the zombies, you can exhaust your rift die and bring up to D6 zombies back. I've done that in battle when I've been down to 2 zombies, exhausted my rift die, rolled the dice and brought 6 back, much to my opponent's dismay. And they're pretty decent in close combat as well. Mission 5, Walker incoming, so that's when you get your card linebacker Walker and bring that into the battle. You're going to face off against that, and then surely enough there'll be the Vogel Spinner at some point. There's an example of the assembled and painted linebacker. Very, very nice miniature. And then mission 6, presumably, because I've not read through this yet, this is going to be everything all coming together and playing a massive big battle with the cardboard Vogel Spinner, the cardboard linebacker, and everything you get in the box. And have yourself some fun playing Konflikt 47. There's even a painting guide in here as well. How to paint the Stahltruppen with the splinter camo and stuff like that, or the dazzle camo, whatever you want to call it. Very cool. Most likely painted by Kirsten at Warlord Games. And then again, we've got how to paint the fireflies, so putting your base coats on and then perhaps adding some shading and highlights and bringing it all together with a base to make it look awesome. And next steps, so I wanted to talk about that in this video as well, in terms of next steps on where you'd go from here once you got this book and you'd played through the missions. So Konflikt47.com, that's a great place to start, because on that website is background and lore for each of the 5 factions of Konflikt 47, but also the army lists are on there as well, completely free for you to download. So whichever army you play, British Forces, British Commonwealth, sorry, Axis, United States, you can download the army list from there and assemble your forces, and it's completely free on that website. And of course you've got Warlord Games' website as well. Everything's on the Warlord Games store, but they've also got a community site as well. And on that community site there are tons of articles on Konflikt 47 introducing you to various factions like the Soviet bloc and the Empire of Japan, stuff like that. I've done some faction focused videos based on those as well. As I said, I'd leave links in the description below so you can have a look at those. But the articles on the Konflikt 47 website and on the community website are really, really good. And then we've got that amazing artwork there that's on the front of the starter set and on this box from Stefan Kopinski, showing the Axis Stahltruppen going up against US Fireflies there with the repulsor units. Very, very cool. And to be honest with you, this game, I think, has got a bright future ahead of it. Now, don't get me wrong, it does need some support. The starter set is amazing. You get some amazing plastic miniatures in the box. But so far, most of the stuff is resin or metal. So, for example, these are the Fallschirmjäger for the Axis. I've got some of these. They're metal still. A plastic kit for those is definitely on my wish list. That's my holy grail. And then we've got, this is not war, this is the end. That's sort of the tagline for Konflikt 47. And it is absolutely right. Because World War II has not ended. It's gone on. You know, the rifts have opened and there's access to all sorts of weird and wonderful technology and biological horrors coming from the rifts. So, in terms of next steps for Konflikt 47, let's say you've picked up the introductory set, you've assembled your miniatures, you've played a few games and you think, oh my god, this is brilliant, I want to get into this game. Where do I go from here? So the next logical step would probably be the starter set. If you're undecided on how you want to collect your armies now, do you want to collect the US forces or the Axis, and you're not sure, then the starter set would be an ideal box, because in that box you get an A5 rulebook and you get the same amount of miniatures that you got in this box. So you get 12 more Fireflies, 6 more Stahltruppen, and you also get the Linebacker and the Vogelspinner Walker, but you also get 2 exclusive platoon commanders as well, one for the Stahltruppen, one for the US Fireflies. However, if you think, yeah, this is really cool, but I don't really want to play United States, or I don't want to play Axis, or you do want to play just one of those, then there are starter armies available as well. So for example, the Axis starter army has got loads of different things, and it's got the new Nachtalben in there. You get more Stahltruppen, you get a different platoon commander, or you might want to play the British Commonwealth because you like the idea of those automatons and the British Grenadiers and stuff like that, and the Galahad armour. So you can get the Commonwealth starter army, which comes with a Walker, a Percival Walker I think it is. You get an armoured car, and you get the Mark 1 and Mark 2 automatons, which are really cool. Or you might want to go down the route of the Axis. You could then supplement your Axis army with things like the Totenkopf zombies. I'm just in the middle of painting mine at the minute. These are hilarious to use. So there are different options available, but as I said, it does need that support. A lot of it is still resin and metal at the minute. So hopefully we're going to be seeing more plastic kits coming along. The Soviet bloc starter army has unfortunately been postponed because there were some production issues with bringing out the kits, and they didn't want to bring those to the customers. So Warlord Games have held their hands up and said, fair enough, we've got this wrong, we're going to redo this and focus on plastic kits in the new year. So unfortunately at the minute the Soviet bloc starter army isn't available, but we have got Axis, United States, Empire of Japan and British Commonwealth to go for. So if you're thinking about getting into the game and you set down a particular faction, then those boxes are going to be ideal for you. But if not, then the starter set probably is going to be perfect. Or you could just buy the units individually. They do sell the Stahltruppen and the Fireflies individually. There are some great plastics. So we've got a Stahltruppen here, for example, with the STG 44Z. It fires 3 shots instead of 2 as an assault rifle. He's got a Panzerfaust on his shoulder, and you do get to build them with an anti-tank rifle as well, which is awesome. I think that looks brilliant. You can put bits of accessories on them, like I've got some extra ammunition on his back there. Really, really nice plastic miniatures, quite big as well. And then we've got one of the Firefly troopers there with his repulsor unit on the back. Again, really cool miniatures. Got the Thompson M1X there as well. My only bugbear with these, I would say, is the repulsor unit just glues to the back. There isn't like a mounting peg on there where you're gluing it to his back. It just sort of sits on the back and you've got to hold it in place while the plastic glue dries. But again, really, really nice plastic miniatures. And if this is the type of plastic miniatures we can expect going forward from Warlord Games, then I do think the future's quite bright for Konflikt 47. When you listen to them talk about it, I went to the Warlord Games open day. They're very, very passionate about this game and developing the story and bringing it on. So hopefully, if they stick to the guns and do what they say they're going to do, this game is going to be a pretty big hitter, if you ask me. But anyway, I think I have waffled on long enough. We've had a look at everything that's in the box. We've talked about what you can get next in terms of Konflikt 47. I want to say a huge thank you to Warlord Games for sending me this to review and unbox. Really appreciate it, and hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have enjoyed the video, please do me a favour by giving it a thumbs up. Let me know you've enjoyed it, and even share it too, let other people know about this, because I do think this box is incredible value for getting into the game. For what you pay and what you get in the box, it really is quite good. Now, in terms of going forward, I'm going to be doing more Konflikt 47 stuff on the channel. We've got 3 more faction focused videos to go. We've got the Axis, the United States and the British Commonwealth, and then after that I'm going to be looking at some of the individual kits you can add to your armies, perhaps doing some reviews of those as well. If you are thinking about getting into Konflikt 47, or you do play Konflikt 47, please leave me a comment, let me know what army you play, or leave me a comment, let me know what you think of this introductory set. Is it something you think is good value, or do you not like the fact that it doesn't have a rule book in it? I think this field manual is going to be more than enough you need to play to start off with. It's got the basic rules in there and things like that, and then you can always add a rule book later on. You can buy the rule book digitally as well. It's quite often on sale on Warlord Games' website as well. So I got the starter set with the A5 rule book, but I also purchased the digital version of the rule book for £10. So I'm not going to argue with that. I've got it on my iPad, I've got it on my iPhone, so it's pretty handy. In terms of going forward on the channel, I'm going to be doing a giveaway very soon as well. So obviously I've just unboxed this introductory set, but I've also got one here that I bought with my own money because I just do think it's incredible value. So I'm going to be giving away an introductory set in a future video. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on seeing that video, because that'll be coming soon. There'll be details on how you can win it. And if you are the lucky person that gets chosen, I will send that out to you free of charge wherever you live in the world. I'll pay the postage and what have you. So if you want to win an introductory set, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and that'll be coming out very soon. But I think that's it for now. Let me know in the comments, as I said, what you think of the introductory set for Konflikt 47. Let me know what you think about the game in general. I always look forward to reading the comments and replying. It's one of the best things about making these videos. Again, thank you to Warlord Games for sending me this to unbox. Very, very much appreciated. I'll leave it there. All that's left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.